Hey, we've got another special transmissions reaction event. Last week we watched the Transformers: Rise of the Beast movie trailer. It's coming this spring, and we were surprised this week a trailer for a brand new Transformers game came out. Didn't know anything about it. It just premiered at the Game Awards tonight, or just after it just ended, and we're gonna take a look at it. So I have to confess, I already watched it once because it was a total surprise. I was just watching the Game Awards that just came on, so sorry, I had no idea this was coming. But
spoilers, Charles.
I saw it on Instagram. I was just on
Yeah.
my phone and I thought, what the hell is this thing? So I ended up watching it.
I saw the press release and was like, hey, let's do a reaction. So I have not seen it. Although
everyone told me there was a video, so I watched it.
Yeah, we did talk about this in alt mode that's going up as we are recording this, but it was Transformers Rise is what we thought the name of the game was.
Mhm.
All we knew is the rumor that this Splash Damage Studio was doing the game. So now this is our correction for alt mode that this is the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, maybe if you're watching this, you've already seen the trailer, but if you haven't, we're gonna watch it right now, and we're gonna see what Jeremy's reactions are. So let's go.
All right.
This ain't working. We should melt it down for ammo. And we're live.
Come on, big guy.
Sequencing at 17%. Loading memory core now.
It's all the same. Only the names will change. And every day it seems we're wasting away.
I approve of the Bon Jovi.
Another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home.
All right. Let's get lucky.
'Cause I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive.
So we're playing as Bumblebee to the start.
We're playing as somebody. I don't know.
Somebody. It looked like Bumblebee. It was cool. It reminded me of the first was the War for Cybertron trailer that had the Johnny Cash song.
The cinematic, yeah.
Yeah.
The Humbling River one, or is this like the second one? Because I remember
It might have been the second one. It was the one where they were on Cybertron. I guess it was fall of Cybertron.
because this actually reminds me an awful lot of like the cinematic trailer we got for War with or War for Cybertron with the Pucifer's Humbling River song. Very much the kind of the same like the same narrative, the kind of like a little bit got some sadness, got some action.
Yeah. I gotta confess. So one thing I will say about watching this trailer, seeing it live, just watching the Game Awards, I had no idea this was a Transformers game until the title at the very end. Like I watching it, it felt very much like just a generic shooter game with
post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic alien invasion. I mean, and I'm sure they're intentionally evoking like RoboCop with reactivating the cat. And I was like, oh, you're a mech or a cyborg that they're reactivating because it's the humanity's last hope, and you got to fight back. And then at the very end, you get the Transformers tag, and that's kind of all that tells you that it's a Transformers game. It really just looks pretty generic to me, and I don't in all the designs in the trailer, none of those enemies look like Decepticons or anything. They just look like generic alien monsters. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
So the press release says that describes it as the greatest threat to humanity has arrived, and it's already won. Earth is no longer ours; it belongs to them. All we have left is our hope for the Autobots as we salvage them from the rubble left behind. So they don't mention Decepticons; they just say them. So it might
Mhm.
be another faction, some other alien race, and I would guess maybe we're going
Interest
to
dropping.
yeah. Well,
Interest
and I'm
dropping.
I'm guessing we're gonna pick up new Autobots throughout the game as we find
Mhm.
them
That could
and
be cool.
restore them.
I mean, I do like that you are playing as the Autobot. Like if
Yeah.
if the trailer is saying that, you know, the first person view is you're the Autobot, that's good. I don't want to be the humans. Make me the Autobot. I want to be the Autobot. Don't make the humans.
And
But yeah, I mean, I hope there's more connections to actual like Transformers lore or characters in this beyond what we see in the trailer.
yeah, hopefully. And it's a 1 to 4 player online action game for both PC and consoles.
I was just going to comment on the players. There are visually there are four humanoid characters there, which is pretty standard with multiplayer games. And then the cinematic, when you get a look outside their little bunker there, it evokes a very Cloverfield-esque scene,
Yeah.
where everything's just kind of happening, and there's no real human response. It's just kind of, this is the world we live in right now. I was going to comment the same thing that Charles said, where the enemies you're fighting just seem, they're unrecognizable as anything. They could just be generic baddies that you're fighting just along the way to get to the end boss of a level that's, could be the main Decepticon or something like that you get to. The graphics look fantastic. They look really quite good. The mouth movement on the humans is kind of, whatever. It's I mean, that's modern gaming, I think, right now, unless you're into a really, really expensive studio that does the high end games, then you'll probably get something that's really quite like Final Fantasy kind of level stuff, which is almost indistinguishable from real life.
Yeah.
But this is, I'm assuming it's a teaser trailer of some kind, because
it's
you
just a
really don't
cinematic.
see anything. I'm afraid that we're going to be playing as one of the four humans, and you're partnered with an Autobot that you kind of reactivate. So you're started off with, let's say, Bumblebee, and you're partnered with Bumblebee at the start of the game. And then as you go along, like Jeremy said, you kind of find more, and kind of, you get to choose, as you go through the game, you could choose who you want to use. That seems like where it's going, but that I like the graphics, and it's a fighting battle game, which makes it infinitesimally better than the mobile games that are out. So, I'm likely going to pick it up because it looks good.
Yeah. This is the promo art that they've given us. That alien stuff it's more, I don't know, Matrixy, War of the Worlds or something like that than Decepticons.
Yeah, it does feel more like Aliens than it does like Transformers or something like that. But to your point there, Darryl, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. This is just a teaser trailer, and like we said, the gameplay and the experience of playing War for Cybertron was very, very different than the teaser trailer that we got at the beginning. So everything that we're seeing on here, it's just a narrative. It's just meant to evoke an emotion and get you kind of excited for wanting more. It's just to start the hype train. But in the end, like, even the sections where you're driving down the road and the vehicles in front of you are getting attacked, like, I don't believe even for a second, like, even that would actually be gameplay footage.
Right.
It's just,
this is all cinematic.
Yeah, exactly. So the actual experience of playing this game could and is likely going to be drastically different than what we're seeing on here.
Sure. There's I mean, that one bit where it did look like you're kind of like point of view driving down this, and there's aliens and shit flying at you, there's potential that that's gameplay footage. It just,
I think
I
this
fully
was all.
expect this is first person shooter.
Yeah, they didn't
Agreed.
say. Well, they called this a cinematic trailer, so I wouldn't expect any of it to be gameplay.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my hope is that this will have the same. Well, we're like it'll be as good as the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games, because that's kind of the standard right now.
That Fall of Cybertron cinematic trailer is still
Yeah.
that's the peak of the mountain for me.
But in terms of the game itself, I mean, Fall of Cybertron was so good, and then
They're both fantastic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it comes down to what's the gameplay going to be like, and how much. I mean, also, I really want to know, like, how much are you leaning on the Transformers in this? I mean, if you're fighting generic aliens, like, what are you using the Transformers license for? So, I mean, I hope that it gives me a reason to say, I'm interested in this from a Transformers, as a Transformers fan. I'm interested in this. It's not just a shooter with, Transformers slapped on the tin to,
right.
to increase its profile.
Looking back at that image, I'm wondering if it could be Quintessons. They seem to be a popular baddie in the various, Transformers media.
That would be like an unfortunate like set of events too. If this game was already like kind of in development and they decided to slap Transformers on it kind of last minute, it's entirely possible. I mean, that has happened in games before and in the games industry. It's like you don't want to waste the assets that you've built or the footage that you've put together. But that would be very unfortunate if that's the case. And I don't think that they would bother using a Transformers license, at least something as big as a Transformers license, if they didn't intend on actually using the Transformers. It seems a bit of a waste.
Yeah. I mean, because even in the trailer, like at the very end with that shot, those two robotic hands look pretty generic. I mean, just the fact that they're yellow is like, okay, maybe it's Bumblebee, but I mean, it's really, there's nothing like recognizable in that teaser trailer, other than the actual logo at the end.
There was a part during the scene where you're driving down. I did see a vehicle that looked a lot like Ratchet.
Okay.
There was a white medical vehicle. Looking at this image, this is the poster art. The building here on the right says Burger, Berger, which is a very unique spelling. So maybe we'll get a Grimlock in here. Greg Berger still does the voice.
Wasn't a character in the Marvel comic a Burger as well?
There was a dude in the
human character.
Cartoon. Yeah.
Was it the cartoon? Okay.
Who?
Yeah, it wasn't like the mayor or something like that of one of the shows, one of the episodes.
Maybe.
I'd have
Greg
to look.
Berger?
Charles, come on. No, Greg Berger is the voice actor. But Charles, I'm relying on you here, and you're letting me down.
Let me just think real hard. Typing into Google.
Yeah, and all of these other creatures are all kind of generic. So, although I mean, that ship in the background looks really neat.
It does have a vaguely kind of Decepticon-esque like outline to the ship, but
it reminds me of the Fallen from Age of Extinction, and I don't like that.
Sean Berger.
Sean Berger. Yeah.
A very rich, grandiloquent man who owns a helicopter, a TV network, a personal army, and at least one private spacecraft. But what he really wants is to be mayor, and he'll sell humanity out to Megatron for it.
And this was in the cartoon?
What series?
Yeah, it was in the G1 cartoon.
Right. Okay.
Megatron's master plan. He was the human who collaborated with the Decepticons to get rid of the Autobots in Megatron's master plan.
Okay, well, maybe that is a reference to Sean Berger. I'm holding out hope that it's also a reference to Greg Berger. But
It would be the deepest of deep pulls if it was
Hey.
Schellenberger.
if it is, we called it first.
There you go.
There's video evidence.
Yeah, but I'm excited just to have any kind of new Transformers video game that's not a mobile.
Hmm.
You know, the mobile games, they were fine, but I want to get in there and like first person or third person shooter.
Yep.
Same. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Transformers Devastation. That was
Yeah,
a really fun game. I'd like to see something similar to that. I mean, this is not going to be that. I mean, that's not even. I don't think that's even in the comment. Like, this is not the tone and aesthetic of this is nothing like that. But that's the last I would say good console Transformers game that came out that I enjoyed. I guess.
It was the last one.
Yeah.
that wasn't a mobile.
Was that after Rise
Dark-
of the Dark Spark? Was that before? I thought that came after.
That was
or-
after. That Rise of the Dark Spark came immediately after Fall of Cybertron.
Oh, okay.
And then Devastation was kind of the palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Platinum Games worked on Devastation.
Be interesting to see because we are talking that there are some feelings that this one does kind of share with the Fall of Cybertron aesthetic because it's kind of dark and it's kind of alien. It'd be interesting to see if anyone worked on it on this one that shared the like I know Moon Studios was in charge of the two Fall of Cybertron games,
Yeah.
but if anyone kind of moved over to this this studio.
Yeah, the
High-
people we
High Moon
have
specifically.
listed here in the
High Moon, yeah.
people that we have listed here in the PR announcement are Richard Jolly, CEO of Splash Damage, and Eugene Evans, SVP of Business Development and Digital Licensing at Hasbro. So those are the only two names we got.
It wouldn't be the Hasbro guy.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying there's no like director.
Well, you'd have to just look up Splash Damage on Google to see
Right.
who's involved. Yeah,
there's
we'll have to do that on our own time, I think.
Yeah, there's a closed beta plan for 2023. You can sign up at playtfr.com. So I would recommend doing that. And yeah,
Will they release physical copies of the disc? That's my big question. I don't want to download.
it's
this
going to be
thing.
available for consoles. So
Yeah, but my daughter had to buy that Cats game, and that was only a download.
If it's a like a full $70, $60, $70 AAA release, it'll get a disc version.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm on the fence. So I want to see more. I just want to see more. I think it looks this teaser looks very generic to me. So
Yeah. But it did its job.
Yeah.
Yep. Got us all here on a Thursday night. I'll probably buy it because I own a copy of Rise of the Dark Spark. So.
Ooh.
You're the one.
Yep. It's probably pretty rare if you think about it. So
it's not going up in value, Darryl.
One more thing. I know we're gonna probably see. I'm not gonna do this because I can't. But there are Cybertronian text.
Oh,
I'm
Jesus.
just waiting for the experts on TF Wiki to translate.
Somebody
that.
will translate it.
We'll get that in alt mode next week. I'm sure by the time we record on Sunday, we'll have the translations.
Yeah, there's multiple of these images here with Cybertronian text. So looking forward to seeing those translations and
convert.
Convert your, I'm guessing, thirst. That's for you, Charles.
No.
Prime Cola.
Bastards.
I could read theater. I see theater.
There you go. Yeah. So
the character's name on his jacket scrubbed out.
Yeah, of course. He probably scavenged that jacket from someone else. I mean,
right? Some dead.
You know, I doubt any of these people were, they probably just acquired all their stuff just from surviving.
I like to imagine it says Charles on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I assume it said Solid Snake.
All right. Well, this was our reaction to the announcement of the new Transformers game, Transformers Reactivate. I don't think they have a release date, so hopefully
don't.
next year.
I mean, the closed beta 2023, so
Yeah.
it may be late 2023, early 2024, is my guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll as new information comes out, we will cover it in Transmissions alt mode. So that's it. So what do you guys think of this new Transformers game? Are you excited? Are you hyped? Are you looking forward to it, or are you kind of meh?
Start the hype train. Choo.
Put your comments down below and join the conversation. No, not below you, Darryl, even below you. Yeah, down there. Just keep looking. They'll show up there.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if you're watching us and you are not familiar with what we do, we are the Transmissions podcast. We do a Transformers podcast every week. We do 2 podcasts every week and a third one that's every other week. So we got a lot of podcasts coming out. Transmissions is our main show, all about Transformers toys and merchandise. Transmissions alt modes, all about Transformers comics and media. We do those every week. Then every other week, we have Empire of Rust, our live play Transformers RPG podcast that is run by Mr. Mike Ordway right there. He is the game master. And yeah, so lots of good stuff on our network. Just go to transmissionspodcast.com. You can listen to and subscribe to all our shows there, or you can just watch them on YouTube. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel here. All our podcasts are video as well as audio. Not Empire of Rust, but we do put the YouTube video up, but we don't have any actual video just because, that's a
Use
little
your
bit,
imagination.
yeah, it's a theater of the mind thing. So, it's more like a radio play. But yeah, you can check us out here on YouTube, like and subscribe, all that good stuff.
Smash that like button.
And thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Later.